I swear to God, the last 5 days, which I have been scrolling the internet, I cannot escape this news. I cannot escape this zoo scandal, like this drama. And it's crazy. And when I went to this specific zoo's Instagram comments, it was full of like, even people from America and Brasilia. This was how I realized that when this news reached literally the other side of the ocean, we're deep of the drama. I'm here to explain you a little bit and open it as a person who has grew up in a farm. And because my YouTube channel is pretty much about animals, like especially gaming animals, so I think this goes with the theme. I have talked a little bit about in real life cases about animals, such abuse horse movie, go check it out. So I'm here to explain, and I haven't wrote anything up, so this is completely my opinion. If you haven't heard of this thing, you are, I guess, lucky. I'm kind of jealous that you can actually escape this, because I feel like lately every second post I check, it's full of about this thing. It gets a bit annoying even, to be honest. And I'm gonna explain you soon why. Where it all started was that Aalborg Zoo. So in Denmark, I'm from Finland, so pretty close. That's why I can kind of talk from them, because similar culture. This is what they sent. This is from Instagram. This was 1 day ago posted from Mindset Therapy. This is like literally everyone is posting about this, but this was what I found it because I wanted to find where the original thing came from. And you can already see the comments in here. People are very pissed. Did you know that you can donate smaller pets to Aalborg Zoo? Chickens, rabbits, and guinea pigs make up an important part of the diet of all predators, especially in the European locust, which needs whole prey, which is I'm not good enough speaking English when it comes to these words I see for the first time. But yeah, in general, about like they want the animal in whole, so it's more like natural for the wild animals. And in zoos, we have a responsibility to imitate the natural food chain of the animals, which I just literally said, in terms of both animal welfare and professional integrity. So they want to have like their animals most like a natural environment as possible. So it's not like, made a gourmet food. It's made by Gordon Ramsay in a pan with oil and little vegetable pieces in it. They want it like very, very natural. If you have a healthy animal that has to live here for various reasons, feel free to donate it to us. The animals are gently euthanized, so they are put down. They are not fed alive. I'm just gonna go for that too. The animals are gently euthanized by trained staff and are afterwards used as fodder. That way, nothing goes to waste, and we ensure natural behavior, nutrition, and well-being of our predators. And read more about exactly. The zoo is under fire in media. Like, people are going crazy. People are sending hate comments, and people are telling, when you go to their like own Instagram account, you can see people telling that the workers should basically feed themselves and like otherwise they'd kill themselves, which is crazy. And here, like, you can see that people are very, very pissed. There's not a single person, supporting this. So let's start. A lot of people, I think one of the biggest things which causes this drama is because they mentioned healthy. And I'm going to go for that soon. But first I want to say that I think that one of the biggest reasons also for this is there's a lot of news sites. There's the biggest ones, which we all know, Reuters, for example, ABC News. We know all these big ones. But then there's a lot of we can say 1 to 2 man websites, new websites, companies who kind of recreate the news of news from, for example, from bigger news sites like Reuters, for example. So they don't even always go to the original place to check it out. It's kind of like guarding phone. Smaller news sites makes news about the news, which already the biggest news has left something out because people don't want to read 5 pages of news all the time. When it keeps going like this, it always leaves more and more off, and there comes even more clickbaits and all that stuff. And I noticed, especially this drama here, maybe one of the biggest, if not the biggest, where I noticed this happens. And we can just Google Aalborg Zoo ask for pets. And we can already see a lot of different news sites. A lot of people has a news site and Instagram only where they post news in the Instagram post. Drama kind of started because a lot of the smaller news sites say that they want yours pets. And of course people get super pissed. Oh, my pet? You're not getting my Fifi from me, are you? How dare you to ask to feed my Fifi? I would never give my Fifi to them. I literally saw hundreds, if not thousands, comments literally like this. How dare you ask my pet? He's not food. For example, here you see this zoo wants your guinea pig as food for its predators. They never asked donations. They never asked a single person to donate. This was literally just, did you know fact? Did you know you can donate? They are not saying, can you please donate? And when I started to think, where could this like behavior from people come? It's most likely because of the culture differences. And a lot of people don't even like search about it. When people see this thing as first thing, they believe it, like very often. People don't really search up about it. And now they think that the zoo asked your pet for its predators as alive. It's crazy. It's crazy what a chaotic fun this caused. And I need to also kind of agree that this thing was kind of wrong written. It could have been written kind of like that it clarifies more, because they don't actually mean healthy animal as healthy. As I said, there's a lot of like Brazilian people and Americans complaining about this. They probably have no clue about European kind of the love system. So basically, no, they're not feeding the animals alive because that's literally illegal. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, I'm from Finland, and this whole thing is from Denmark. So we have very, very similar culture system because we both are part of the Nordics, and both of the countries are part of Europe, which has very, very strict laws when it comes to animal things. Let's start with the euthanizing, because a lot of people who are not from Europe will think very easily that they are fed alive because the smaller news sites wants to make it look like it. The animals are euthanized. The European has very strict laws how animals are supposed to be euthanized. And for example, you are not allowed to live feed even your snakes at home by the mice. They must be euthanized before you feed them. The second thing which really catch my mind is that this is very badly written. If you have a healthy animal, I understand that people get very, very mad because what do you mean healthy? Like, they should have clarified this way better. As a person who has studied animals, like I have education and everything, I immediately knew what they meant, but I understand people who don't have it, that what it means. So basically what healthy animal means that it can have broken bones, it can have a cancer which cannot be treated anymore. There's also a lot of animals who have so bad mental state. What they actually mean with the health is medicine. That's how I kind of understand it. They haven't really clarified it, so it could be that I am as well wrong, but that's how I kind of understood that it cannot be treated with medicine, because again, European has very strict laws. And I actually wanted to go check from their website what does it mean, and I found this like from people who want to donate. And there's one for the horses. I'm actually going to go for this because my family has had horses, like horse riding school, over 30 years, so I'm gonna go for this as well soon. And then there's for smaller prey. Actually, I'm not even sure if they take dogs. I actually think this might be about chickens and rabbits and guinea pigs only, so maybe they're not even actually asking for dogs or cats. I think this whole thing kind of started because they wanted to market themselves as ethical, like recycling. At these times, the earth is very overused, is that the correct word? And I think for this whole thing kind of started why they started marketing this was expecting people to think that, oh, this is so ethical, this is so good, like recycling on these times is very important because we are overusing this planet. I think this was kind of the point that they were expecting, but people then just understood it very, very wrong. I think that's what happened. If you have a horse that needs to leave, we're happy to receive it. We provide fast euthanasia by trained staff, and you can be there every step of the way if you wish. Please note that only wait through the year, and there may be waiting list for the horse donations. So actually, apparently a lot of people bring their horses there. And I'm going to go for that soon. Before you consider contacting us about donating, following the condition must be met. The horse must be maximum of this size. I don't know why. The horse must be in a sound animal welfare condition for transport and not have been treated for illness at least within the last 30 days. This is what I meant before. Cannot have any medicine in it because it's going for food for the animals, and European has very strict laws what you can feed. I don't remember what the exact things in Europe was, but for example, there's very strict time when the cow, for example, can be put in meat if it has eaten antibiotics, and in some cases could be they can never really be for meat, so they need to be put down for energy, for example. This is what I meant with the health, that it cannot have, for example, illness which needs treatments, for example antibiotics, because then the medicine would go, because it's going for food, it would go for the animal which is in the zoo, if you get what I mean. They want to clarify this, and that's what I kind of understood as healthy. And of course the horse must be in a condition that it can do transporting, so it cannot have broken bones, for example. It can have something else that can be so the horse cannot be half dead to transport because that's animal abuse. So for example, the horse can have cancer. Actually, if you didn't know, in Nordic especially, I think also in Poland and Latvia, maybe in Estonia and Lithuania as well, it is very common put the horse for meat for humans. So this is literally the same thing, it just goes for the animals. And I know this can be very, very shocking news for people. For example, I understand in America, they don't do this at all. Humans don't really eat horses in America, for example. So I can understand why people were very shocked about this. But this is actually very, very common and very, very normal. Especially in Nordics, that horses go for meat, like human meat. So it's as normal very much to go for the zoo meat as well. Aalborg says the horse donation, that you get a little bit money from, I don't really know what this means, but at least if you put the horse in food in Nordics, like for humans, you get like certain amount of money per kilogram, but it's so small, literally. It has gotten smaller every year, so no one does this for business in Nordic. And we have put a couple of horses for meat for humans in real life, not all of them, but a couple. And the money what we get from it is maybe 30 euros for the whole horse. So it's around the same. So it's about the fuels, what it costs to bring there. So you cannot get money out of this at all. We also welcome small pets such as chickens, rabbits, and guinea pigs. This can be dropped off on weekdays between blah 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 blah. However, blah 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 blah. But yeah, this is kind of it. They're not actually asking for dogs. That's a hamster there. Okay, this is not a clickbait. We can see this here. But here, there's a dog. Apparently they're not for asking for dogs. They have a dog in here. I saw a lot of like Instagram, like actually like dog pictures with them and cats. I just cannot find it on the Google search. Well, here, again, dog and cat. Apparently they're not asking either dogs or cats. Ah, okay. Here it is. So they're actually asking only for... Sorry. I had little brain fart here. So they're asking only for prey animals. Dogs and cats are not prey animals. They are predators. So they would not even take them in. Okay, I just somehow skipped this. And here we're gonna again see a dog in there. Now I want to go to the bit more specific about the horses. Because a lot of people, there was even news about someone who gave their horse for the zoo. Apparently this is a thing in Denmark that people brings them to the zoo. Like a lot of people, I saw many comments about people from Denmark saying that, yeah, I gave my pet there, I gave my horse there, and no problem. They treated him well until the end and stuff. So apparently it's very common to bring horses in the zoos, at least in Denmark. And I want to tell a little bit why this is not so bad thing as it might sound. The horses are very, very rarely put down for no reason. Because they're very, very valued animals. And they're very expensive to keep. I know there's always people who gives up way easy, but it's not the zoo's fault, it's because of the people's fault. Even if the zoos didn't exist, some people would still do it. When the horse has its final moments, it's a big animal. You cannot bury it anywhere you want. This is what people don't think, because I understand if you never had horses, you never maybe think this, but you actually are not allowed to bury your horses just anywhere. Because it's so big. There can be clean water under the ground, which are protected, at least in Finland. So you need to be very, very careful where you bury it, because you can get a lot of trouble out of it. We actually allowed to bury our animals in our farm because we don't have clean water in it and we have so much land. So this is not really a problem, but it also costs a lot of money. It costs around, I don't even know, but we need to borrow a machine from other company who makes the sticking for the horse, and it usually costs a lot of money. And then you need also the machines to put the horse there, because it can be very heavy. You cannot just do it by one human. You usually need a machine to do it, and then of course cover it. It can cost around, what I remember, 600 euros, depending of course about the size, but it can be very, very expensive. No, I can on accident maybe lie, because I don't correctly remember, but it was not 20 euros. It was over at least 300, a bit more. So it's not cheap either. And again, you cannot do it anywhere. So for example, if you have own house between a lot of other houses, you most likely don't have permission to bury the horse, so you need to get rid of it, like the body. Then there's other methods as well. Let's say you have a horse who lives in a rent place, and well, most people don't even want to bury in the random stable garden. Seriously, it's weird, you know? So you need to think where to put this horse. I cannot bury in this my garden because the law forbids it. It is an area in general where you are not allowed to, or it has clean water under the ground, which the body has a risk to destroy, so it's forbidden. Where do I get this horse? One of the things which people does is put it for meat because the horses get recycled. Like a lot of people does to themselves. They want to send themselves to science research, for example, when they die, like humans as well. So a lot of people has this mindset that they want to recycle if that's possible. So a lot of people brings the animals as also for meat, for recycling, or because it's just so easy. You don't need to think about the body afterwards. There is also other options. If you want to put the horse down at home, you can call for someone to pick it up, like they do with cows, for example, and they will send it for energy. So the horse will go with a big truck to be burned to energy. So it's also, again, recycling. It's the only way. If you don't want to put the horse for meat and you have no love to bury it, it's literally the only option. You cannot just leave it rot on the garden. Like, that's also illegal. Either way, it gets recycled. This is kind of how the Nordics very much work. It also costs money. It also, even when it goes for energy, it also costs money. It costs also hundreds of euros. So it again is very expensive to get body, like, rid of the body. Of course, then the veterinarian putting at home the horse down is other hundreds of euros. So it can be over, I don't know, 700 euros putting the horse down. Not every people has money for this, so they will just drive it for meat. Not every people wants to see their dead horse, and not every people wants to. They get very stressed when they need to think this step by step how to do it at home. It is so much easier to just bring it for meat or to donate them to zoo. And apparently this is a very common option for Denmark, to bring the horse there, because then you don't need to think anything else. You only need to think, okay, I bring this horse for free to be put down here because it needs to be put down anyways. I bring it here, it even gets recycled, and it doesn't cost me anything, and apparently you can also get a little bit something tax-free things. I really little don't know how this works because the tax system in Finland works differently. And that's it. Then you just drive home and the whole thing is done. It can be also in a grief. It can also be very easier because when you're in a grief, everything duty feels even more overwhelming than normally. So this can be for people's mental health as well, that it's done very, very quickly. A lot of people have different reasons why they put down and how they put down, and I'm not judging it. And when I'm thinking what our customers chose, I'm not gonna go for everyone, but a lot of people send the horses for energy because they get picked down at like from the stable, so it's very easy. And a lot of people also send the horse for dog meat. So recycling in Nordics is very, very common when it comes to horses. A lot of people are deciding when they buy horses, then when the timing comes, it costs for meat. But as I said, it's never for money because you literally get barely the fuel money when you bring the horse there. But I have never actually heard anyone sending chickens, rabbits, or guinea pig for food. Like, this is not a big thing. I think that afterwards work is so much easier. That's why people maybe don't bother so much in the zoo. So what I think about this healthy again is that it doesn't have any medications used. It's not like super sick that it has one leg and it gets transported. It must be in some kind of condition that it's not like half alive, that it comes from an accident straight and it's been like dragged to the trailer and it cannot stand up. Because that's animal abuse, it's against law. And I also know how these websites here we can again see Danish zoo asks for unwanted pets to feed to its predators. That's again crazy clickbait. And here we can see another website that I took a horse to the zoo a few years ago. One commented on the post, it was the most peaceful and calm way it happened. This is what I actually saw from a lot of people who actually is from Denmark and commented about this stuff. I'm pretty sure they do this in other countries as well than just in Denmark. I'm not going to Google every country who does this because I simply don't care. This is crazy how media is changing what they actually pointed at. I don't know if I agree with it, but anyone willing to donate their pet probably is not caring for the pet properly anyhow, so probably better than letting it suffer from poor conditions. Oh my god. I'm not even going to clarify this anymore because I have already told the reasons why people do this. So I'm just gonna let it slide. We are talking about animals that had to be put down for other reasons. This. Injured, old, etc. The unwanted part is so wrong and a clickbait media stunt. The zoos in Denmark doesn't use it in term unwanted. I donated 30 years old pony. It was her time to say goodbye to this world. So she got put down in the stable. Calm and easy. 10 later the zoo came and picked up the pony. This seems to actually be from Denmark, Danish person. So yeah, that's kind of it. What do you think about this? Did I explain correctly? Are you completely disagreeing with me or agreeing with me? What would you add? What would you not? As I said, I'm not here to talk about if zoos are ethical or not, but I'm only talking about this media scandal, what happened. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I don't really do politics videos. Don't expect me to talk about politics, okay? I just wanted to make this because my channel is very animal and horse based, and this was very close to my heart. So I have talked about other like issues within real life animals as well, and I will continue to do so. So subscribe and leave a like, and we will see in the next video. So until then, maybe. So bye bye.